Okay, so welcome everyone to Lemontree morning event, the first of this year that we're doing together with SauceLabs. And we're going to talk about their cloud-based platform and also how to get digital confidence. So if you're not familiar with Lemontree since before, I just want to give you some short facts. We founded 1999. So we've been working with testing and automation for over 20 years now. And we are mainly here in Sweden and also in Norway, working in the telecom, banking and finance, public, energy and industry. And we have a partnership together with SauceLabs, who are doing the presentation today. So I want to present Hans Lindsen and Yiming Yang from SauceLabs, who are going to do the presentation. And if you have any questions, you can just write in the chat and we will at the end take a summary and a Q&A where we can have a discussion all together. So that was a very short introduction, but I think I'm going to hand over to you now, Hans.
Thank you. Let me start sharing my screen. All right. Good morning. My name is Hans Lindsen. I am the salesperson for the Nordic region at SauceLabs. And with me here today is...
Hello.
Good morning. With me here today is Yiming Yang, our solutions engineer. And I'm going to talk to you about the 4 core elements to create a flawless customer experience. We're going to look at a demo as well today on how that looks in reality. So as we all know, our business today is a software business. It's even more so during the pandemic. You compete on customer experience. It's your main point of contact, your website, your app. You only have limited time to impress your customers with the experience they get. It either does work or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, they'll just go to the competition. That's the harsh reality of today. So it is important that the organizations have a digital confidence and that they really give the most flawless experience possible to their customers. Your business will suffer if it doesn't. Just take a look at these facts. So McKinsey says that 25% of the customers will abandon a brand just after one bad experience. That means if they experience your app to fail or experience your process not to work. But there's an upside as well. Harvard says that if you have a good experience, you can get a spend of more than 140%. So that actually adds to your business. So there's an opportunity there as well. We're going to highlight today 4 core elements in the customer experience. Every application, regardless of the underlying technology, needs a feature set to deliver value to customers, a high availability to be sure that it works when customers actually want to enter your app, to make sure that the performance meets the expectations, and to have a nice looking interface that will work intuitively. That's what you're striving towards, the best possible and frictionless interaction with your customers. So let's have another look at these. A feature set to deliver value to your customers. That means it has to be responsive to the way your business changes. When your business changes, your website, your app needs to change with it. It needs to be flexible. I already mentioned the importance of having a high availability app, and I think we all understand that. If it doesn't work, the features really don't matter. Performance needs to exceed customer expectations. That's all good, but if you implement a lot of changes, you also introduce risk. Speed doesn't always go hand in hand with quality. And of course, a good-looking app that works intuitively. But evolving the user interface is also a weak link when it comes to functionality and having a working app. So these are all elements you need to take care of and you need to keep an eye on when you run your digital business. Looking at the 4 elements in detail, the feature validation. If the feature is not functional, aka broken, it doesn't matter how much has been invested in design, in performance, the user experience will be terrible. Lemontree has experts that can help you fix these issues, of course, and they're supported with SauceLabs tools. But if you need an automated process in place, you need to safeguard continuity. So is the app available? How do you know you're deploying a secured and successful function in the CI/CD world, where you're continuously deploying and continuously bringing new things to production? Some examples here in the bottom. British Airways passengers hit with delays up to 22 hours after an IT issue. Remember that it says it can also hurt your brand when you have an app that doesn't work and you actually lose business. Gartner says that the average loss of revenue for each 1 hour of downtime is 300K. These are real numbers. The next element we're going to look at is performance, and that's all about perception. A slow app is not functional from a user perspective. Issues can be caused by infrastructure code, level changes, or even design. But in the end, slow is just slow. A good customer of ours, Zalando, has increased their revenue by 0.7% by saving 100 milliseconds of a page load time in its online store. Think about that, 100 milliseconds. It doesn't seem shocking, yet it changes a lot. Oops. Visual quality. Finally, the fourth element. The interface has to not only to be responsive, but also attractive. A good functioning app can fail because of a poor layout. People have to find where to hit your functions and go through a smooth process. Also here, we can help you. Be aware of what your customers use in terms of devices to run your applications on. It varies from region to region. Trends change all the time as device vendors innovate their products. But also, you have to know your demography. What sort of customers do I want to appeal to and what sort of devices do they use? Research this. We can help you as well. We have availability for trend reports which show you how this develops over time, and you can actually test on better versions and make sure that you're ready once a new device is introduced. So let's have a look at the cost of failure. Failure not only hurts your business, but also is a very costly thing to fix. And the later you find a bug in the process, the more expensive it becomes to fix this. The earlier we manage to find a mistake, it determines how much you will have to spend to fix it, and the later in the stage you find a bug, the worse it becomes. We're looking at outages, we're looking at broken features, we're looking at performance regression, we're looking at visual regression. Most importantly, you need to find it before the end user does. You don't want the customer to be your test pilot. For all of this to work as designed, we advise you to test continuously. Continuously testing is what we advocate. So not only just before going into production, but really throughout every phase of the CI/CD pipeline. Continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous testing. It goes hand in hand. Automate wherever possible to minimize the resources you need, and make sure that by automating it, every test is really happening. And it's not just skipped because people have no time or just want to get to their deadline of getting something to production. Speed doesn't go hand in hand with quality. And while you're automating this continuous testing pipeline, you will receive lots of signals, aka reports, lots of information from the different tools that are used along this pipeline. So what is a good way to interpret these signals and make sure that you get a full view of what is happening when your app goes through the different stages of development on its way to production? That's what we at SauceLabs aim to help you with by integrating with the different tools along the way and building a dashboard that gives you a good view of what is actually working and what is not working, and to make changes as you go along in time before it actually hits your customer. In our cloud solution, we offer you a scalable infrastructure that consists of desktop browsing possibilities, different operating systems, every browser you can think of, but also mobile emulators and simulators, which will cover lots of your use cases when you're actually preparing an app for a mobile device. But it's never a replacement for the actual real device. So in our data centers, we literally have thousands and thousands of different devices from different vendors with different operating systems in different versions to give you the opportunity to test your application on such a device. You can use scripts from Appium, from Selenium, automated scripts. Our founder actually was Jason Huggins, the man who wrote Selenium. So the ties to open source are really, really close. And we want to give you a full taste of the user experience. So functional testing, but also performance testing from a user perspective. Is the app actually looking good and performing well? And with visual testing, you can make sure that it looks good on every resolution, on every different device, on every browser. And as I said before, we offer you dashboards, we offer you analytics, we offer you screenshots and videos of every test you run. So if something goes wrong, you can go back to the people who can fix it and actually show them what is happening. Share this with your team. There's debugging tools, and of course, there's ways to also live test, manually test, and automated test. All of this comes with enterprise security and 24/7 support to support your business whenever you need it. And now let's have a look at what it actually looks like. Yemin, are you ready?
Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Good morning. My name is Yemin. I'm the solution engineer at SauceLabs, mainly responsible for the German-speaking market. Everyone can hopefully see my screen, right? Does not? Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Hans. In the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to show you a demo about a short part or a small part of our platform, which is mainly about live testing or manual testing on web applications. That means on desktop browsers. But I will also take a look, or we will also take a look at mobile testing. That means on a mobile real device, on an app. So that means I will go to a test app we have at SauceLabs, and I'll show you what we or what you can all do in live testing, and of course everything we do in live or in manual testing we can also do in automation. First of all, this is the look you will get when you log in into SauceLabs the first time. We have some training materials here, videos, and just in general help to get you started if you're not familiar with testing yet, or you want to brush up or learn new things. On the left side, we have a couple of sub-menus. The most important, or the two ones we are going to look at today, are going to be the live one and the automated one. But we also have, of course, features in the terms of analytics, which would be insights, for example. And yeah, let's get started. When we open the live menu here on the left side, we see 3 different submenus: test results, mobile app, and cross-browser. To start with our web tests, either on mobile or on desktop browsers, we need to click on cross-browser, and we will be brought to this view. We'll come to that in a second, or in a short while. But first of all, let's change to desktop. First of all, if you want to test on a website, you can already pre-enter a link to a website. In this case, I'm going to use sourcedemo.com, which is our own SauceLabs built demo website. It's publicly available, so you can also take a look at it if you want to. SauceLabs supports the most common browsers in the market. As you can see, we have support for Firefox, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Safari, and Internet Explorer. On the right side here, we also have the ability to choose the resolution of the browser. And here on the bottom left, we can also choose different operating system versions, depending on the browser selected. That means, in this case, if I select the Safari browser, we know it only runs on macOS. Therefore, only macOS operating systems are shown. For this test, let's just take the latest Chrome version, which is 87 at this point in time. But we can, of course, also test on the dev version, which would be Chrome version 88, and the beta would be 89. As a resolution, let's leave it as it is. And for the OS version, we can just select Windows 10, for example. By clicking on Start Session now, what happens is we will create a new image of the VM running the desktop browser and install the desktop browser on the VM. That means you will get a pristine new image of this VM. And that also means that after the test, all your data will be completely deleted. So there won't be any remaining data left. In the VM here, we can exactly do the same thing and use our mouse and keyboard as if it were our normal browser in the laptop. That means I can click on the URL here. I can click on this text field here. I can use my keyboard to put in text. I can use Control-A to select all the text. And for now, I will go. I'm going to use our standard user here, and then use a password. Click on Login, and I'm logged in into our demo website. I can use a right click, for example, to also look at the DOM tree of the website. I can use multiple tabs if I want to. And if you take a look here on the right side, I've got this couple of buttons and features available to us. I will only talk about 2 of them. One of it is invite. This will generate a unique link to this session. I can share this session with anyone in my organization, and they can then watch in real time. So it's basically a live stream of what I'm doing here. This helps facilitate collaboration between one or many people, which is even more important nowadays with the pandemic and the lockdown. Another option is to take a screenshot of what I'm seeing here on the screen, and it will be automatically saved to SauceLabs. We'll take a look at it in a second. Taking screenshots also helps to have more descriptive and more helpful bug tickets, for example, because as we know, a picture can say a lot more than words. After we are done with our testing here, I can click on Stop Session here on the top right, and this will destroy the VM completely. As promised, let's take a look at the test results. The first item here on this view, live session, is the one I started 3 minutes ago. Let's take a look. On the top, we have some meta information about the test. It was run on Windows 10. It was a Google Chrome browser. And I was the owner or the one who ran it. In the center of the screen, we have a video. SauceLabs is automatically capturing a video of each of the test sessions, either manual or automated. That means on top of screenshots, which are also captured automatically based on DOM tree changes, you will also get a video, meaning you can augment or send the video as part of a bug, for example, a bug ticket in Jira, for example, to just help and make it easier for developers or other testers, colleagues to reproduce issues. On the right side, we see a couple of tabs: commands, view logs, and metadata. On the command one, we don't see a lot of commands at the moment because it was a live test session. I will show you in a second how this looks like in automation. But basically, every command sent from the client will be received by a Selenium server, and then you will get a response back. Notice that here on the right side, we have a small picture icon. This means we can either click on the link here to get to the state of in the video, and also click on the icon here to open the actual state as a picture. Going to view logs, we have a couple of logs available to us. We have the log.json, which is the SauceLabs log for this test. And we have the Selenium server log, which also helps to debug any issues of your test, for example. All of these log files can be downloaded automatically using our REST API, for example, but it can also, of course, be downloaded manually or using this button here on the right side. Going to metadata, we have a lot more information about the test itself, when it was run, how long it took, and so on. And here on the bottom of that tab, we have the option to download the screenshots, the 4 screenshots we saw earlier in the commands tab, and of course to download the video. Having said that, let's take a look at mobile. For this purpose, I have uploaded 2 apps. One is an iOS app, the other one is an Android app. Let's test the iOS app, and if I click on it, the amount of devices will be different than what you saw initially, because in this case, it only filtered out all the Android devices because they are not applicable for this iOS app. That means in this view, we have currently 82 device configurations available to us. A device configuration is always the device model name, for example, an iPhone 11, and the operating system version. That means in this case, iOS 14.3. These two together make up one device These two together make up one device configuration, meaning currently we have 82 different device configurations available for testing. All of these device configurations are available multiple times, and all of the devices you see here are public devices. The first device here with this blue icon is a private device. Public devices are shared amongst all of our customers. They are cleaned after the test, and all the customer data or the test data will be erased, and only then will it be returned to this pool available to all of our customers. A private device, on the other hand, is allocated only to a single customer and is only available for them to use. To launch the selected app I have on this private phone, the iPhone SE 2020, I can click on launch here. And what happens now is we will establish a connection to this physical real device in our data center. In this case, it is located in Berlin, Germany. And we'll install the app on the device, and also establish a video connection to it. So there we go. this is the device, and similar to the VM or the desktop browser I showed earlier, I can also interact with this device using my keyboard and mouse. That means I can swipe around. I can use it to click on a text field. I can use my keyboard to type in text and the password. Click on login. And I'm logging into our demo app. The demo app here, the SauceLabs sample app, is also available publicly. So it is published on GitHub and can be found there. Using this app, we can test different functionalities, features of the phone. For that, let's take a look at the right side, and you will notice we have a lot more features here compared to the VMs, because a phone is usually a bit more complex. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but just pay attention to, for example, GPS. When clicking on the GPS, what we can do here is we can inject a location of the to the device, and using this pin here, I can, for example, well, drag and drop to some place, and let's take it to here. Let's remember the latitude and longitude, so 37 and minus 121. Set it to GPS and zoom out. Click on the menu, go to geolocation. Of course, enable the location service first. Oops. No. Now, where is it? Privacy, privacy. There we go. Location service, turn it on. No. Apologies. My my desktop computer is a bit cranky this morning. Okay, right. So we have enabled it, and now we can go back here. Let's go again. Allow it, and there we go. We have the latitude and longitude injected into the phone, while it is still physically located in Berlin, Germany. We can also inject other things to the device, for example, a camera injection by uploading an image. That means it's possible to test, for example, QR codes, wire transfers. If you want to, for example, transfer money from one to another, and you have still it paper slip with the account information. You can also take screenshots, again, similar to the VM browser. In this case, it will be saved also on your local file system. And it's also possible to test various other features of the device. For example, rotating the device in landscape, which is one of the features often forgotten, which is also important to cover these, to cover this as a in the coverage of your tests. Make sure it works also in landscape mode. Similar to the VMs, we can also generate and share a link to this session, which means it's also possible to show colleagues what is happening on the screen, and to, again, facilitate collaboration in a increasing world of digital working together. Now, let's go back to portrait mode. The last thing is we have access to the device logs as well, meaning it's also possible to debug an application based on the device logs here. After we are done with the session, we can click on stop again. This will terminate the session to the device, and the device will now be removed from the pool, will be cleaned. That means the installed app, the user data, test data, all of it will be removed from the device, and then only then put back into the pool. In this case, because it was a private device, it will be put back into the private device pool for this customer, in this case for me. So let's go and take a look at automation as the last part of this demo. We can run all of our tests also in automation, of course. This is the whole point. The test can be triggered from anywhere. That means from my computer, but also from a CI/CD server. Personally, I'm using Jenkins. And to show you that we also support emulators and simulators as well on top of that, of real devices and VMs, let's take a look at this build here, which was run on Jenkins or triggered by Jenkins. Here I have 10 tests. They all executed or ran in 1 minute and 1 second because I could parallelize the execution. That means all the 10 tests ran at the same time. Similar to the view earlier, we have a video here. Let's skip forward a bit. And this is on a mobile web browser, on an emulator, Android emulator. And as promised, here on the right side, you will find more commands. We have annotation, and we have the different web requests. That means coming from Jenkins, sent to SauceLabs, and the response is back. So it's easy to follow along the tests with the annotation here, like sending blank password, but also we have the different test steps, basically the requests to the test steps mapped available to us here to also debug and to take a closer look if required. As part of that, the log files are of course augmented with more stuff. In this case, because it is running on a device or on a simulator, emulator, we have the RPM server log instead of the Selenium logs. And we have logcat, which is the internal device logs. In terms of metadata, it's pretty much stays the same. It's focused on mobile in this case, of course, and we have still screenshots and videos available to us. Having said that, I would be finished with my demo. The platform has a lot more to offer, like insights, analytics parts. We also have features available in terms of performance, meaning the performance of the browser perceived by the user. For example, that means how long or how fast a website loads or not. Yeah, with that, I'm finished. Thanks for your attention, and I would hand back to Hans.
Thank you very much. If you could stop sharing your screen. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Eamon. So that was the platform. There's lots more to it, but we have limited time today. So let us quickly recap. The 4 elements of a good customer experience is functionality, availability, performance, and visual appeal. Now we can help you get that working and build your digital confidence so that your app will have the flawless experience that you're after. On every device, at speed, and without having to maintain your own costly infrastructure and keeping it up to date with modern devices and new browser versions. And we do this together with our partner. And what do you get when you mix Lemontree with SauceLabs? You get lemon sauce. Lemon sauce is actually quite good. I'm a bit of an amateur cook, so I can confirm this. This is a statement from Patrick, the CEO at Lemontree, and please read it for yourself. But we have been working for years now, and we form a very good team. We bring the tooling, and Lemontree helps you on site, getting started with whatever you need for automated testing and continuous testing. This slide tells you a little bit about what Lemontree can do for you. So it's test data management, testing as a service using our platform, products for automation, and also robotic process automation. The skills and the people to get you started and make sure that your app works flawlessly. And exactly on time, we have about 10 minutes left for Q&A. If you want to ask us a question, you can leave it in the chat, or you can open your microphone and just hit me. I am not seeing any questions. Going once, going twice.
Ja, man kan fråga på svenska också ifall det är någon som, som har några frågor. I just said you can also ask in Swedish.
I would if I could, but I can't. Yeah. Well, if there's no questions, then I thank you for participating. Please reach out to us if you do have any questions later. You can reach Isabella here at Lemontree, or you can reach me at hans@saucelabs.com, and we'll be happy to answer anything you might have. Thank you for today, and I wish you a great day.
Thank you so much, Hans, and thank you, Jimin, for the presentation. Och tack alla för att ni kom på det här eventet. Och precis som Hans säger, ni kan alltid kontakta oss på Lemontree och